Hello and welcome gamers and God of War fans. Today we are going to talk about some secrets of the God of War Ragnarök that you may have missed. These little Easter eggs, references and details can add to your gameplay experience and make you appreciate the game even more, so let's get started. Remember all those poems you obtained throughout the game? Well, there is more to them than you might think. Collecting Kvasir's poems is a great way to discover Easter eggs and hidden references to other Sony exclusive games. Each poem references a different game, providing a unique perspective on how the God of War universe interacts with the wider gaming world. For example, one poem references The Last of Us Part 2, stating, "There are worlds beyond these shores, worlds teeming with danger and beauty, things you may not have seen, but know of through me." This not only acknowledges the existence of other game worlds, but also suggests that they are connected in some way. Another poem mentions Ratatoskr and Clank rift apart, stating, "I witnessed the birth of a universe born of nothingness, and then I saw it fall apart, its demise inevitable." This alludes to the game's time and dimension hopping storyline. These references to other games provide a fun and exciting way to connect with other Sony titles, and for fans of those games, it's an exciting discovery to make. It also shows the level of thought and detail that went into the development of God of War, as the team included these Easter eggs for players to find. Overall, collecting Kvasir's poems is not just about adding to your collection of in-game items, but also a way to explore and appreciate the wider world of gaming. Remember Ratatoskr? He is a squirrel in Norse mythology who is believed to be the messenger that runs up and down Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects the 9 worlds. In the game, Ratatoskr plays a similar role as a messenger who assists Kratos and Atreus in their journey. He is often seen perched on top of the chime located near the entrance to Tyr's temple, waiting for the duo to call him when they need his help. However, you can have a little bit of fun with Ratatoskr by repeatedly hitting the chime even when he is already present. This action can cause Ratatoskr to get agitated and scolding you over and over again, saying things like, "I'm here already" and "What do you want?" If you continue to annoy him, he will become increasingly angry and even threaten to leave and not come back. It's a fun little detail in the game that adds to the overall immersion of the world and the characters within it. It's also a testament to the level of attention to detail the developers put into the game. Even small interactions like this can make the game world feel more alive and dynamic, so if you're looking for a way to pass the time or just want to see Ratatoskr get mad, try hitting the chime a few times and see what happens. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content like this. Thor is introduced as a looming threat throughout the game. Eventually you will face off with Thor in a memorable battle that results in a collision between Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and the Leviathan axe, Kratos' weapon. The impact of these two powerful weapons creates a unique phenomenon, a frozen lightning tree that serves as a visual reminder of the power of the clash. Interestingly, you can find another frozen lightning tree in Vanaheim, one of the realms you can visit in the game. Vanaheim is the realm of the Fenrir, a group of gods that are in conflict with the Aesir, the primary pantheon of gods in the game and mythology. The frozen lightning tree in Vanaheim is not a result of a battle between two powerful weapons as it is in Midgard, but its origins are still intriguing. Without spoiling too much, we encourage you to venture to Vanaheim after completing the game and investigate the area around the frozen lightning tree to uncover its origins. The discovery is a testament to the game's attention to detail and world building. It also provides a compelling reason to revisit previously explored areas, as there may be more hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. Remember PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale? If not, it was a crossover fighting game that was released for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita in 2012. The game featured many characters from various PlayStation franchises, including Kratos from God of War. In the game, characters fight each other in various arenas using their unique abilities and attacks. Wondering why we're mentioning that? Because there is a reference that happens during one of the many boat conversations between Kratos, Atreus and Mimir. Mimir asked Kratos if he ever participated in a tournament that had beasts, scoundrels, princesses, the undead, automatons, and history's greatest musician. This is a clear reference to the roster of characters in PlayStation All-Stars. Some fans speculated that the reference might also be a nod to Mortal Kombat, which is, as you probably know, another popular fighting game franchise that features a diverse cast of characters. However, the inclusion of history's greatest musician in Mimir's question seems to be a clear nod to another classic PlayStation franchise, Parappa the Rapper, which is a rhythm game featuring a rapping dog as the main character. Overall, this reference is a fun nod to Kratos' appearance in PlayStation All-Stars and a reminder of the rich history of the PlayStation brand and its various franchises. It's a clever way for the game to acknowledge its roots and pay homage to the wider PlayStation community. Returning back to the storyline of mythology, the game takes a bit of creative liberty when it comes to the backstory of Fenrir and Jörmungandr. In Norse mythology, these two creatures are the offspring of Loki and Angerboda, and they are destined to play important roles in the events leading up to Ragnarök, the end of the world. However, in the game's version of events, Fenrir and Jörmungandr are not Loki's biological children. Instead, they are created through Atreus' powers and the help of Angerboda. Atreus, who is part god and part giant, has the ability to bring souls of the dead back to life and put them into new bodies. This is how he creates Jörmungandr, the giant serpent that encircles Midgard, and Fenrir, the giant wolf who was chained up in a cave. These creatures become important allies to Kratos and Atreus throughout their journey, and they both play a key role in the game's story. When playing Atreus, you have the opportunity to assist Odin in his quest to prevent Ragnarök, the prophesized end of the world. During one of the missions in Asgard, you must help Odin complete a mask that will allow him to gather information on how to stop Ragnarök. However, when you fail during this mission, you will release a powerful creature called Garma, and Odin and Heimdall will have a conversation about it. If you are curious, you may attempt to eavesdrop on that conversation by sneaking up to the door. If you choose to do so, Odin and Heimdall will notice you and ask you to back off. Although you cannot listen to the entire conversation, this small interaction adds depth to the game's world building and immerses you in the game's narrative. In God of War, players can choose to play as either Kratos or his son Atreus in the main campaign and side missions. This adds an extra layer of depth to the gameplay and allows players to experience the game from two different perspectives. However, after completing the main story, only Freya remains as your companion, and this causes some differences in the dialogue and interactions between characters. For example, if you choose to play as Atreus during the main campaign, you will hear his perspective on the events and his relationship with his father. On the other hand, if you play as Freya, you'll get to experience her unique perspective and her interactions with the other characters in the game. The choice of character also affects the dialogue and reactions of the NPCs to some extent. However, regardless of who is with you, the interactions between Kratos and Mimir remain the same. Most of the dialogue is between these two characters, so players who prioritize side missions may notice Atreus or Freya being quiet during some parts. But this doesn't affect the game's overall story or the player's ability to complete the missions. It's worth noting that playing as either Atreus or Freya doesn't change the game's ending, as players will still be able to experience the full story regardless of who they choose to play as. So the choice of character is more of a personal preference and adds a level of replayability to the game. If you've come this far, you're probably not worried about spoilers, but just to give you a heads up, there is a big one right ahead. The character of Tyr is a fascinating addition to the game's storyline, and his presence holds some surprising twists and turns. As players progress throughout the main campaign, they discover that Tyr is missing, and they are tasked with finding his hidden vault in the Lake of Nine. In this vault, players can learn about Tyr's travels to the other realms, his alliances with different races, and his involvement with the Jotunheim. However, the real shocker comes when players find a shrine dedicated to Tyr in Odin's chamber in Asgard, where they can see Odin posing as Tyr. Odin kills Brock, who called him out on his suspicious behaviour, and flees the scene. This revelation is a massive twist in the game's narrative, but players can still encounter the real Tyr in the game's endgame content. After completing the main campaign, players can venture to Niflheim and locate a secret prison containing the real Tyr. They can interact with him and update him on the events that have transpired in his absence. While there is no specific mission associated with finding him, it's a compelling addition for players who want to explore the game's lore further. Interested in more secrets and lore behind your favourite games? Then check out our video on the Game of the Year winner Elden Ring. We will dive into the hidden world of the DLC and the unseen perils of the game. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting or entertaining, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update from us.